Friends, we're live. Happy 4th of July weekend. Hope you are doing awesome. Gonna do maybe a long series or a short series, depending how interesting this is to myself and anybody out there in the ether. How's everybody doing? We're talking about Lovecraft and his involvement in Arkham, which is recognized by many or strongly considered to be the witch city of Salem, Massachusetts. I, of course, did go and still attend classes at Miskatonic University. How are you guys? So let's get into it. Hope you're having a good 4th of July. This topic has nothing to do with 4th of July. I don't know. You may or may not like that. Let me know what you think in the chat. Jump in. So, Salem, Mass, home to the witch hysteria of 1692, is often believed that Lovecraft based his Arkham city on Salem. That would be Lovecraft Country, not to be confused with the latest TV show, Lovecraft Country. That would be the fictional North Shore towns, including Arkham, which is thought to be Salem, Innsmouth, which is a strange town of inbred, kind of ghoulish people, Kingsport, and Dunwich of the Dunwich Horror. And they would be, if you reverse them into the towns in reality, they would be Ipswich, Salem / Danvers, or Salem, Danvers in the same area. Danvers used to be Salem, part of it. Marblehead, and Newburyport, Massachusetts. The first appearance, to my knowledge, of Arkham in the universe of Lovecraft, of the Arkham mythos itself, is in the story The Picture in the House. The Picture in the House, creepy as any of his, is about a man who murders travelers that stumble upon his house. This is because he has a craving for the human flesh, so it's a cannibal story. Very creepy. Anybody out there? Anybody want to gab? Oh, no one in the chat. Jump in one person if you wish. So that's Picture in the House. And without a doubt, the thing in the doorstep is completely 100% a Salem, Mass centered town. It is it is a story, I'm going to say, that's most like a modern horror movie. It's really spectacular, like all his, but the jumping bodies theme was done by that woman. Why can't I think of her name? Goldie Hawn's daughter. The names Upton and Derby are the main characters. So it's Edward Pickman Derby, and Derby is one of the main key names of Salem, Mass. Once the king, the big guy, Elias Haskett Derby, merchant sea owner, said to be America's first millionaire. Derby, everything is Derby in Salem. So that's that name, Pickman, probably another common name from there. And the Upton name of Daniel Upton, definitely associated with that town area. Asenath. I don't know if I pronounced this woman's name right. Asenath. Forgive me. Asarith. Waite Derby. Again, with the Derby name. The very good looking with the overly scary protuberant eyes. That is because she is from Innsmouth, the extreme scary town. The name Waite, people definitely speculate that is Waite of the secret society, the Hermetic Order of Golden Dawn, I believe. And he is the developer of a very, very famous deck of cards known as the Waite deck. Arthur Edmund Waite and his Rider Waite Tarot deck is still very famous to this day. If you're into the occult studies. People who have reviewed them tend to think the woman is not the prime mover in the physical and mental, spiritual, bodily possession of our hero, Derby. That in fact her father controls her, is possessing her, and then in turn possessing the protagonist. Waite indeed was a Freemason, part of the Scottish Rite, and was propelled forward by the Golden Dawn. It's been speculated as to whether or not H.P. Lovecraft was familiar with the king leader, the big man of the occult, the beast, Crowley, who I've done a bunch of semi-popular YouTubes on here of. And I don't think that to the best of my knowledge, there's no. It's probable that he was familiar with him, a younger Crowley, but because he was a foe of Waite in their dealings. But that brings the name used in this is, more than likely derived from this figure, famous guy regarding Western occultism. Nobody's jumping in. I never get anybody now. Oh, I got a thumbs up. Thank you. Let's go back. So this is a fantastic story. That the daughter, the beautiful but spooky-eyed daughter of Ephraim Waite's father, again, being speculated that the father is, the prime mover behind the daughter's powers, benevolent powers in this story. He has a name of a strange entity that he uses for his coven name, spelled Kamog, Kamog. that also might be a non-human entity that possessed his family. Lovecraft does a good job of just kind of dropping that. He doesn't endlessly talk about that. He kind of lets that go. The author S.T. Joshi, who's huge author on Lovecraft, claims that the name of Asenath, translates to "she belongs to her father." And so that is why some people think that she's literally possessed by her father. And then if you go back, this entity, Kamog, is representative. So maybe the father, in dabbling with the occult, became possessed by that entity. Daniel Upton is the good guy character in this. And like I mentioned, it's Lovecraft was had a family friend, Winslow Upton, at Brown University. So Salem is a huge in the Cthulhu mythos, the Necronomicon mythos, I believe. Yeah, and very big with Lovecraft. But we have to be clear. It Providence, beloved Providence, is the key. But it's no surprise that he was interested in the activities and the overall feeling that surrounds the witch city. Thing at the doorstep being pretty much totally taking place there. Referencing clearly the Crowning Shield Bentley house that is in the central part of the downtown Salem. Quote-unquote Asereth, the beautiful demonically possessed woman, more than likely. We always say that with Lovecraft because we never sure till the end, are we? Or I don't want to be a total spoiler. Or I did. I'm spoiling alert. I'll shut up. Asereth has brought the old Crowning Shield place, and that they mentioned there clearly, it is still there. Pretty much close to the famous Peabody Essex Museum. In addition, in the thing at the doorstep, they clearly mention the Derby House, which was built in 1762 by a Richard Derby for his son Elias Haskett Derby, again referred to as America's first millionaire. Anybody out there? Anybody want to jump in? No. I don't blame you. What a strange topic. There's a Pickman's model story that does reference Caleb Pickman, who's buried over at the old burial point, going back to 1637, Charter Street Cemetery. Said by many to be the second oldest in the United States of America. I'm going to have a sushi, all right? It's 4th of July. Sorry. Shouldn't talk with my mouth full. It's gross. The guy who was struck by lightning June 4th 1737. That's a real story. Referenced by Lovecraft. Quote unquote, I lied when I said she had gone away. I killed her. I had to. It was sudden. But we were all alone. And I was in my right body. I saw a candlestick and smashed her head in. She would have got me for a good hollow mass. I buried her in the further cellar storeroom under some old boxes and cleaned up all the traces. The servants suspected next morning, but they have such secrets that they dare not tell the police. I sent them off, but God knows what they and others of the cult will do. Quote unquote from the thing on the doorstep. He's talking about the Crown and Shield House. The Miskatonic Institute, which I have my shirt on, hoodie, what have you, is also supposed to be in Arkham. The surrounding towns, of course, appear as well. Lovecraft certainly, more than likely, derives the name of the witch house from Salem, the very spooky home over there of Judge Jonathan Corwin that is also in the central area, more or less, of Salem. It's most well-known building, I would suppose, of Arkham. Walter Gilman is the main character of the dreams in the witch house. Although it doesn't, it refers to it as being another house with the landlord and everything. It's so different. So it's just in that he was inspired by it and inspired by Salem, Arkham, but oh, and also the shall we say, it just takes the Salem witchcraft trials, the hysteria, and turns the innocence of any characters involved and uses it for what it is. Which was, people were accused of the witchcraft. They were accused of greeting a man with superpowers, a god, a demonic figure, the devil, Satan, everything that would get you hung there. So Lovecraft, in my opinion, from looking at the dreams of the witch house, just, he's knowledgeable of it, and he goes with the idea that people were being, going to sign a book of the Black Men, Azeroth. So the central character is taken to the throne of Azeroth at the center of chaos. The victims of the witchcraft, or alleged victims that became accusers, were often referred to as the afflicted. And some of what Lovecraft talks about in this wonderful story matches at times closely the stories that the accused, known as the afflicted, were telling, accusing Reverend Burroughs of being the king of hell, and a Miss Martha Carrier as queen of hell, and things like that. And that they would send their specter after you. And that they had signed a book. So in Lovecraft's world, there is no innocent people of witchcraft. They are witches. And you do go meet this entity, and as it says, quote unquote, Gilman's odd experiences seem to escalate as he dreams that he signs the Book of Azeroth under the command of Kezar, Brown, Jenkin, and the infamous Black Man. So, Lovecraft takes it farther as this man confronts an old crone that, to my mind, looks like the famous picture of a woman that was taken, a very, very internationally famous picture of a woman, an old woman at the Joshua Ward mansion in Salem. Lovecraft is absolutely accusing people of a major witchcraft activity that goes beyond what the people were hung for. Any questions? Jump in the chat. Anybody read these? Definitely that he references Walpurgis Night. Walpurgis Night. The high holiday, right? Reminds us of the Wicca Man a bit. Everybody's in on it. And they are in the giant coven, a world coven of witches and so forth. If you're paranoid, doubt you're familiar with Walpurgis Night. Saint Walpurgis Night, Saint in Deutsch, in German. You're actually though, you ward off evil spirits. Technically. Then you're dealing with the May 1st, which is the very, very, very important holiday to the people associated with communism. May 1st. And then beyond that, of course, you would be referencing the Order of the Bavarian Illuminati. Their founding date is May 1st. Lovecraft's stories goes beyond anything that people got hung for in Salem. Salem, Mass, 1692. Because we're talking about child kidnapping and bizarre rituals, and they find some bones. Some bones, kidnapping of infants, an old crone. He gets into a battle with an old crone, a witch-like crone. And there's a sacrificial knife and a bowl made of some metals, which scientists are unable to identify. So this is in Gilman's dreams. Definitely this is right out of the hysteria, though. The Azeroth entity, excuse me, of the deity of the Cthulhu mythos, or the Tulu mythos. The Tulu mythos. Sorry about this. He symbolizes the primordial chaos It is a word designed from Anathoth, Jeremiah's hometown, and Azel, mentioned in the Dunwich Horror, which also includes the Weidner Library in Harvard. At Harvard. It also features a rat-like little creature. As I recall, there's a Bridget Bishop woman. Excuse me. I'm lowering my standards by eating during my show here. Bridget Bishop is said to sick an imp-like entity on one of the afflicted. In the 1692, again, Salem witchcraft hysteria. Both these stories are considered part of the fantastic and wondrous Thulu mythos. Jeez, I can't say it. So the dream house was once the home of Casruth Mason, an accused witch who disappeared mysteriously from a Salem jail in 1692. This story simply wouldn't fly these days because nobody could even say that, I don't think they could anyway, say that, there was any reality to the people that were accused of the witchcraft hysteria. So I don't think you could even, joke about it or use fiction, not joke about it, but, even, I don't think it would be considered to be able to be used for a fiction like this. It's heavy hitting. It also features Salem's once thriving Polish community as he seeks out a Polish priest for help. And his landlord, I believe, is a Polish man. Miskatonic University. So he rents an attic room of the witch house. He's a student of mathematics and folklore at Miskatonic, which, again, is associated with Arkham. And there are to be strange occult books housed somewhere in Miskatonic University. Now, and the thing in the doorstep, the theme of people dabbling too far into the occult and getting burned is significant. Is significant. Edward Pickman Derby is said to be somewhat loosely based on a friend of Howard Phillips Lovecraft. There's also the sanitarium in Arkham could have some connection to the very old giant psychiatric hospital in Danvers. Well, this is part one. I guess there's nobody jumping on yet, so I will leave you guys with this. Happy 4th of July. And we'll be back on soon for more chat of the Cthulhu mythos. Cthulhu mythos. Hope everybody's all right. Happy 4th of July. God bless, guys.